Welcome back to Investing and Trading Live, sponsored by Online Trading Academy, teaching people just like you how to trade, how to invest, how to get started with the markets. Also, if you've been in the markets for many, many years and just looking for more consistency, Online Trading Academy has content and education on how to get to that promised land. If you did miss seats for this free investing class, we do a free investing class locally here, and they're about 2 hours. We have them during the week. We have them on the weekends. You can text the word investing to the number 210-210. That's text investing to the number 210-210 for 2 seats for this free class. Also, when you get registered for this class, when you text in right now, you're going to receive a financial quick start kit. In this kit, there's topics on how to get started, how to have more consistency, but also a little free stock pick in there as well. So make sure to get that financial quick start kit when you register for this class by texting the word investing to the number 210-210 right now. So, Al, we've been talking about some different techniques and strategies. We talked about how to keep trading and investing simple in the financial markets. There's so much clutter that people are seeing out there. It's just confusing people. And what happens to confuse people? They do nothing. Right. So they don't reach their income goals, which we talked about in the last segment, but they also do not reach their retirement goals. Now, when we talk about retirement, it's that time of your life where you want to be able to enjoy things. You want to be able to spend time with the kids, spend time with the grandkids, maybe go to different sporting events. Maybe it's travel. So there's different reasons on what retirement, or different, I guess, definitions on what retirement is for some people. Some people say, hey, I'll never retire. But there are things that you'll want to do at that time. Maybe it's, doing something to stay occupied, because you can't do nothing at retirement. And that's sometimes, I think, what a lot of people think retirement is doing nothing. So let's talk about how to use the market. So if people are struggling to get to retirement and they don't have enough, you got to have the right 401k and the right IRA strategies based on where you're at now and then where you want to be. So in that last segment, we talked about that more, of having a plan for income strategies. Let's talk about that plan with retirement strategies, with 401ks and IRAs. And Al, how do you help people here at the Academy? Let's just say somebody has a retirement account. They have some in there. Maybe they have a little bit in there. Maybe it's $100,000, $200,000, maybe $500,000, small accounts. And they want to be able to increase that because they know $100,000 is not going to be enough to retire on. $500,000 is not going to be enough to retire on for most people. How do you help people start a consistent strategy and a plan to be able to have that opportunity to have enough during those retirement years?
Yeah, well, you know what? The numbers that we're seeing now from a lot of advisors is people might need $3 million to retire comfortably. Okay. But the bottom line is that you have to decide what you want your retirement to look like. Most retirement plans look at what you have now, look at an average rate of return, and then basically tell you how you're going to live in retirement. What we prefer to do is start out with how you want to live in retirement and then look at what the necessary rate of return is to get to that point. And it's going to vary from person to person. Some people may be right up there and you don't need to do much. Some people need to catch up, and it means getting a higher rate of return. That means different strategies, maybe using different assets, doing things that maybe you haven't done before because no one has taught you how to do that. Most people, they rely on a 401k or a 403b or some kind of an IRA for their retirement to achieve their retirement goals. Unfortunately, a lot of people now are just relying on Social Security to do that. But this is interesting. Vanguard just came out with this report. They said this last year for them, for their clients, it was a banner year for money going into 401ks. So people were putting a lot of money in. One of the reasons was that automatic enrollment plans were put into place, and then there was a contribution escalation. So here's what happened, Josh. In this last year, people have been putting more money into something that has been underperforming.
Crazy.
Most people in this last year are down maybe 25 to 30, 35% in their 401k returns. So you're encouraged to put money into something that now is losing money, and it's not just the performance. Money is being taken away in the form of fees. You have limited choices. In fact, those choices are typically not the best performing. Most of them are mutual funds, and what we know is that 80 to 90% of the mutual funds underperform the index that they're pegged to. They have no protection strategies that you can easily use, and you're really getting no help. So people are putting money into something that really is probably not the most ideal plan, but it's something. So we're not saying don't put money into a 401k. The best part of a 401k, there's two things I think are really great. One is it forces people to put money aside that they might otherwise not do.
Which means save.
Which means saving. And the other one is the match. If you get an employer match, that is free money. That's something you have to take advantage of. But then you're encouraged to continue to put more money in after that match into, again, that strategy that has all those negatives to it. Why not look at setting up an IRA, a self-directed IRA, so you can have assets and use strategies that will benefit you in an up market, a down market, a sideways market. You can have protection on your assets. You can use those leveraged assets that give you the ability to, increase the potential returns with limited risk. That leverage is going to be huge, not only while you're building for retirement, but while you are in retirement, because you can take a small amount of what you have in a retirement account and still participate in something that is maybe quite large. But also, if you're not retired yet, preparing for retirement is important, but so is enjoying your life before you retire. That's where that those income strategies, I think, are so beneficial. It can help you before you retire. You can use those same strategies when you go into retirement.
Yeah, what's crazy is almost, if you think about it, the psychology of how people are, they have, people are willing and okay, think about this, with losing 20 to 30% of their portfolio. They feel it's normal. They feel like they're everybody else because everybody's losing money in their accounts right now. But that's not okay. But you're trained and conditioned to think it is. I was having a conversation with a friend this a couple weeks ago, and they were talking about, I lost about 20, well, I think it was about 30% in their account. And I said, well, what are you doing about it? Oh, nothing. I said, you're okay with spending. Just think of your account spending. You're spending money in that account. Think about that for a second. It's losing, let's call it spending. Let's say you have a $100,000 account, $20,000. People are spending or losing, same thing, but they're not willing to spend a little bit of time to protect that. And it's because you've been conditioned from so many years, from a young age, to just let it sit in there, and you're in it for the long haul. And that's the problem is if we have a retirement crisis, if you're listening right now, and if you feel we have a retirement crisis, if people are struggling to retire, look at your family. Your maybe parents or grandparents or friends of friends, and people are retiring and struggling at those times because we have inflation. They have less money, so they can't do the things that they want to do. So you're being conditioned to think it's okay. Well, let's stop that. Let's stop that thought process of it's okay to lose money in the markets. And it's not okay to lose 20 to 35% in those accounts because you need a much higher rate of return to get back to where you were already at. But the biggest thing that you lose is what most people don't think about is time.
Right.
You lose that time because you cannot get that back. That's the investment time. So let's change that. We have these free investing classes at our academies here. And these classes, we really dive into the 401k strategy, the IRA strategy, how that actually works, because you're saving right now, which is a phenomenal thing. But if you're putting money into an account and it's just disappearing, there are other ways and other strategies to do that. And that's what we get into in these investing classes is what are those strategies? What can you do as an alternative to like your IRA or 401k? But also, you're not required to have somebody manage that. Because think about this. If the market's going down 20 to 30%, and you have a money manager taking a portion of that out because they're quote-unquote fee, but also if Al was talking about underperforming funds, well, you're kind of set up to lose in a way. Come into one of these investing classes, see how this works, be introduced to these strategies to protect those portfolios in down markets, but then have the opportunity to grow those and at your rate of return that you need at retirement time. Text the word investing to the number 210 right now for 2 seats for this investing class. Text the word investing to the number 210 for 2 seats for this class. You're also going to receive a financial quick start kit, which will help you get started right away. So, Al, you mentioned earlier about the self-directed IRA. I really want to get into how that works and how to get that started in the next segment, because we have a lot of people that are losing money in their accounts this year, and they know it's happening. They're not okay with that, but they haven't done anything about that. I want to help our listeners start to do something about that. I want to get into how to create an IRA or self-directed IRA, have your best interest, and how to get to those golden years with them in a much more comfortable way. Text the word investing to the number 210 for 2 seats for this investing class at our local academies. This is Josh and Al, Investing with Trading Live. We'll be right back.